Hi, this is William. Welcome to FlySpoke. And this morning I'm going to tie for you a Atlantic salmon dry fly called Canuel. And Rene Canuel created this fly fishing on the Matane River in the Gaspe Peninsula, Quebec. And this is my favorite fly for fishing up there, dry fly. I've hooked some very, very large salmon with it. It seems like the size in a size 6 is the appropriate size. They say in Quebec, up on Matane, the big bombers are for attracting salmon, and the smaller size bombers, smaller size dry flies, are for catching the salmon. So this is a size 6. It's a Gamakatsu T10 3H, a great hook, up-eye dry fly. Very light wire hook, has almost a dark aluminum sort of titanium look to it. Great fly. So I'm using white Danville 3/0, tying to the back, and the first thing is I'm going to take some calf tail, white calf tail, and I'm going to make a simple tail. You want to try to make a nice uniform body now, because of later we're going to be spinning the deer hair. And I put the tail onto there, and I come back to where I want to end or start my body, and I come back to that spot. Then I'm going to take a second bunch of calf tail, and this is going to be the wings for the fly. These are going to be upright split wing. That where the tail ended. So again, we keep our body as uniform as possible. And I want to make sure that I'm ending my tying thread with some distance left from the eye of the hook, because we're going to be, later we're going to want to have our spun hackle, we're going to want to have that in front of the wing as well. Okay, so I have a nice uniform body, I have my tail. Deer body hair in olive, and I'm going to start taking bunches, and I'm going to start spinning some deer hair. Now what I like to do is, when I have a clump in my hand, okay, I have a clump in my hand, I trim off the front end so I don't have to have lots sticking all over the place. Okay, ready? Loose, loose, tight, spin, stack. Okay, advance the thread. Another bunch. Again, loose, loose, tight, spin, stack. Now I'm going to continue this process right till I get to where that calf wing is. I can really stack this if I wanted to take even a something to put over the front of the fly and pop the hair back and make it a lot tighter, but the fly calls for it being somewhat loose. Okay, that's the last one I'm going to do. I have my wing right there. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my scissor, I'm going to go in, and I'm going to start trimming. Okay, I've trimmed that pretty much all around decently. I can, you can keep fussing with this if you like, tapering down to very thin amounts. Okay, now I'm going to take my wing and I'm going to split my wing. I'm going to just take this, tie some wraps in front of my wing to stand it up. Some flies will call for a standing single, and there it is. There's your standing single already. Some flies want it to actually stay pointing, some bombers straight to the forward. This one is split. Take my thread up in the air, divide my wing best I can, figure eight my wing. And just all you're doing is splitting it like that. Now you have two divided, and now I'm going to stand those two divided up by building up thread in front of the wing. Now we're stood up, we're divided, and I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to cut through, pulling my thread down through to the very back of the fly. Now, this fly calls for 2 badger hackles. And these are beautifully long rooster hackles that I have, and tied in by the tips. These really long now rooster hackles are great for tying woolly buggers and all that kind of stuff where you're putting a hackle from the back to the front. And I'm just going to tie that in and cinch it in, pull it down into the hair of the fly. And if you just pull it in, you won't see it. Clip it. And then again, advance my thread, pulling it down into the hair. And I'm going to go this time all the way to the front where I'm going to finish off my fly. Okay. Now using the full hackle, I'm just going to pull it down in so that it embeds itself into the deer. And when I get to here at the front, I am going to run this one time over, pull back, and now I want to spin on a number of times in the front. Okay. I'm going to just prepare the hackle to be tied off by removing this side. One more. Split the wing. And just make a whip finish. Tight. I'm just going to take off any little pieces that may have gotten caught in there. You can see the split wing. There it is.